I broke something. Hey, hi. Okay, I've got a good show for you today, so don't go anywhere, okay? And I also went to the University of Arizona, my alma mater, Bear Down Wildcats, right? If you know UofA, yeah, Bear Down Wildcats. It has a story to it. So I'm going to show some footage of that. Not a lot. I mean, you know, that you can see it. When I was downtown the other day, you all mentioned, wow, Tucson's really clean. Well, it kind of got my mind working, and I've been looking around. You know what? Tucson is really clean. There are trash receptacles everywhere. And in some cases, I took photos of them, especially at the UofA. You know, I remember in Lake Havasu, there were hardly any trash receptacles anywhere. It was like they didn't want people dumping trash. So what happens is people dump trash everywhere because they can't find anything. In Tucson, they understand. Every bus stop has a trash. Every restaurant has trash around. Sidewalks, there's a trash receptacle. I suppose they have to pay more money for people to dump those things, but I'm telling you, it makes for a really clean city. Yeah, downtown is very clean, and I was looking around at the U of A. Wow, I was thinking, you know, there's not one piece of paper laying on the ground. And in Arizona, a lot of people don't smoke. So there's not a lot of cigarette butts laying around. But I did notice, I remember going back to Cincinnati, Ohio. And I could not believe how many people smoke cigarettes. So you're going to see a lot of trash there because people just kind of throw the cigarettes. I rarely see anybody in Arizona smoking. The only ones I kind of see smoking are maybe homeless people because they're probably bored. And I know that they do get some assistance, so some of them might actually spend their money on cigarettes. And I also do know that they pick up cans, and there's a place where they can take them, and maybe they get cigarette money there. But okay, well, I've got a couple really good questions for you. Let's get started. This is from Victoria Walker. Victoria Walker. Okay. 7884. Okay, you say, hey, enjoy your channel. I'm a new subscriber. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Question. When you took out the passenger seat, did you have an airbag alert? Absolutely. You went on to say, someone I heard somewhere say that when you remove the passenger seat, that disarms your airbags on both sides of the vehicle. I don't know if this is true. No. I have my passenger seat removed and then put back in. I remember you telling me that. It costs you $150 total. Would be much happier to just remove it again. If you know anything about the airbag solution. Yeah. You're an hour and 14 minutes away from Quartzsite, California. If Arizona, you probably meant. If you have a way to direct me to the shop that charge you, yes. It's called A Best Auto. It's right on I think it's right on 95. It's right when you're coming from, I'm trying to think if you're going north or if you're going south, you're going to Quartzsite. You're like when I was on Plumosa Road and then I turned and I went, it's right there. It's right by the road. Okay. It's called A Best Auto. RV Auto. The word best is in it. That's what I can tell you. Yeah. They'll take it out. Okay. Yeah, I have it's on all the time. I don't even notice it anymore. It's just there. What they did is they take the seat out, and there's a wire. It's almost like little fuses, and it goes in there's those little plugs, those little metal wire things, and it goes inside. It like goes inside, okay? And when they pull that out, it disarms that one, not this one. I mean, I've got airbags here and here and here and here. It doesn't disarm mine. And I asked him about that. He goes, no, it's just that one. So he goes, you're going to get that on there. So I don't know who told you that. So don't worry about it. Get it out and save yourself not only some space, but some weight. Though the passenger seat is probably a good 60, 70 pounds. It really is. So you're going to get some of that weight out. Okay, so there you go. Now let's go on to some UofA, okay? So make sure that you watch this all the way through, everybody, okay? Okay? Waiting for the streetcar, the Sunlink. It's just easier to take that, park my car in a safe place, and then take the tram down. Because parking sucks down there. This is closed today, but it's an old building and I want to get close to it. Now it's wintertime, and I'm going to show you off and on some of the landscaping. The great thing about Tucson, Arizona in the southwest, it's wintertime, but it's still very green and very lush. This is the Old Main, and this is in the National Register of Historic Places. Now, it was built in the late 1800s, and it was the first building that housed the first students of the University of Arizona. This is a view of the big lawn. A lot of activity here, and this is noon. There's some pretty cool chairs up here. I didn't even know these were up here all this time. Little rockers. And it looks down, you can look over the big lawn of the university. Now let's go check out a couple of other spots here. Now here they're playing Bear Down Wildcats, and they play it on the speakers at noon every single day. It's, you know, it's the UofA song. Well, let's just take a little walk through. A lot of the students are out and about trying to find something to eat. And we'll just walk through, get a view of the students here. And really how clean the university is, right? But it is a beautiful university. And it is ranked number 10 in space research. I will mention that the Old Main that I was just at is one of the oldest surviving educational structures in the western United States. The University of Arizona is classified among R1 doctoral universities, very high research activity. Known as the Arizona Wildcats, often shortened to CATS, the UA's intercollegiate athletic teams are members of the Pac-12 Conference of the NCAA. Now here is the main library of the UofA. And I did work here. It paid for my tuition. Well, it helped. And I also had scholarships. Let's go upstairs a flight, and I'm going to become studious. I'm going to travel through the library. I knew this library inside and out. Haha, easy reading, the National Geographic magazine, 1922. I just want to look at some I'm looking at pictures, There were some interesting things. There's the history of the telephone by Alexander Graham Bell. Bike riding is very important at the UofA, and here is a good example. They even provide a SKU. It's a repair shop. You can pump up your tires on how to repair a bicycle. Here's some receptacles for your trash. And this little buddy, I'm sure what he's doing is delivering some books from building to building. Pretty cool, huh? Here's a different view of Old Main, the original. Now, I'd like to show that there are flowers growing. It's pretty darn cool for winter time. But for right now, I'm ready for some coffee. This is on University Boulevard, and a lot of students are in and out. It's real close to the university. So let's get some coffee. Biscotti. This question is from Carla's Corner. And I believe this is Carla White. Hey, yeah, she has been with me ever since 4 years ago. She says, I have a question about dopamine and what happens in romantic love. It is science. There's a back part of the brain that when we fall in love, we literally fall in love, romantic love, that it creates dopamine. And that's when you're like, you just can't stop thinking about them. It's like, oh, you can't stop. You want to talk to them. You just want to be near them all the time. Because every time you think about them, it creates dopamine. And then what happens, I mentioned that when there's a breakup and you're very much still in love with that person, what happens is you're still creating dopamine. But what you're doing is you're constantly thinking about them. You're obsessed. Every time you turn around, you're thinking, what you're thinking about is where did it go wrong? What happened? And you're thinking back and you're trying to find, where's the red flags? Where's all this? It's creating dopamine. And it doesn't really make you feel good, but that's one of the reasons you keep trying to get it back by thinking about them. Okay. So she asked, I totally get the hit you get when you're in love and something either good or bad happens. But do people that lack the empathy gene still get that dopamine hit? Okay, let's get rid of some fallacy. There is no empathy gene. Empathy is learned. Empathy is something that you learn. As a child, as a baby. And I want to tell you about an empath. Let me tell you just a little bit of what I've learned about an empath. To say, oh, I'm an empath. You know, it ain't all that great to be an empath. And now they're saying it's actually kind of abusive in a way. You're such an empath. You tell people, well, I'm an empath. You're trying to gather attention. You're trying to get their attention. You're trying to get their sympathy. I'm an empath. I'm trying to help you. I'm an empath. No. Yeah, it gets kind of creepy after a while, doesn't it? To be a real empath, it's not a badge of honor. What it is, it's sort of a disorder. You become an empath because of the way your caregivers were. When your caregivers, whoever they were, aunts, uncles, teachers, grandparents, whatever, parents, or even in an orphanage, your caregivers, if when you were growing up, the people who cared for you and you were around most of the time, if they were kind of wacky and they were up and down and moody, or they had their own issues going on, their own traumas, it created trauma for you because here's what you had to do. You had to constantly scope. How are they doing? Well, what kind of mood are they in today? You were constantly scanning your caregivers for clues of how they're going to be that day. That's how empaths are created. It's not a gene in us. I mean, we are wired for love. We are wired to smile and be loving, but these are learned behaviors. If you're in a society where people walk around and slap each other, that might say, oh, this is how we show love. No, we teach our children true kindness, and we have empathy for other people. Okay. There are actual psychopaths, and they are born without kind of a conscience, but that's not really an empath, okay? Now, so to be an empath is not a badge of honor. That means it's kind of like a personality disorder, kind of, because then when you grow up, you're constantly observing everybody like, oh, what is he? You're probably right on reading people's body language, but you're constantly doing it. And it's it can be unnerving to constantly be looking at, because what you're doing is you're always looking to see what their mood is so that you can adapt your mood. That's not good. You just need to get over that, being an empath. You don't care what they think. You don't care what their mood is. Once we're grown adults, we don't have to worry about, oh, are you going to come over here and yell at me or something? If they did, it'd be like, well, you don't want to be with that person, then you can walk away. But as a child, you can't. Okay. So being an empath is not great. And it's not a gene. And then it says, if it's about them, but do people that lack the empathy gene still get the dopamine hit? If it's about them, does it affect them the same way it would be for someone, let's say, a high level of empathy? I think it's kind of going to hit, the dopamine is going to be created no matter what. But for how long and the degree of it, that would be kind of iffy. And I don't know the answer, but I did want to talk about this because it's very interesting. And then I just had a question. Can they feel the same as someone that has empathy? I hope that makes sense. Yes, I rarely do. Oh, yeah, no, Carla, you always make sense. Okay, let's go with narcissism. Does a narcissist have that dopamine hit when they fall in love? Well, here's the thing though. In many cases, they don't fall in love. A narcissist doesn't fall in love. And here's the also thing. A narcissist, there's no gene for narcissism. Okay. Also, narcissist is created. They're not really sure what kind of parent creates a narcissist, but they are created. And here's something else I want to tell you about. Narcissist, let me just say this. They say now that every alcoholic, a major alcoholic during their alcoholism is a narcissist. They are. They've actually done studies and proven that if you are a raging alcoholic, you are a narcissist. You have all the behaviors of a narcissist. It's all about you. You don't have, when you're when you're drunk and you're drinking every day, you don't have empathy. Yeah, and I do know that with my stalker, someone's ex-wife. Yeah, she total narcissism. Now I did find out that she didn't drink. It wasn't until the last 20 years that she actually started drinking, really, not heavy. And that's when, and I said, well, did she have those narcissistic traits before? And he, no. So there you go. I mean, she started drinking and heavier and heavier. So, but she was definitely exhibited all the narcissistic traits. And there's a case right there. So, but here's the thing that I was wondering. This question came to me, and I don't know the answer, but I would just like to put it out there. What do you think? They'd have to run studies of it. If you are an empath, that you were brought up that way, and you are constantly looking and scanning everybody's moods and desires so that you could help them in some way. Yeah, you're an empath. Could an empath ever become an alcoholic? I wonder about that. I mean, what do you think? Because if they're an empath, they're probably not going to drink very much. I'm just wondering. I'm just throwing it out there. You kind of sparked a little question here. Okay, well, hey, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up on this and check to see that you are subscribed. And I do put out a video every day, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 11 o'clock in Arizona time. I mention Arizona because that's where a lot of nomads are right now. And I hope I'm here to entertain you. I'm here to give you tips, and I'm here to inspire you and be your cheerleader for life, right? Okay, so that's what I'm all about. Thanks for watching, everybody. I love you guys so much. You guys go on and have a good day, and good things are coming our way, right? Our way. Okay. Bye, everybody. Mwah.
Confused, so you look around and have to really pay attention to everything.
What's your name?
My name's Max.
Hi, Max. Okay,
Yeah.
I know some Maxes.
M-A-X, Maximus.
Yes, wasn't there, I think the other day was National Max Day. It really was.
Really?
Did you not know that?
No one told me.
I broke something.